Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I'm so excited. Welcome back to another live YouTube live. I am so excited. I have Lady Empress here. We are going to have a real deep talk. It's going to be great. Um, her and I, we messaged, we were talking yesterday to talk about this live, and we were just going. So we're like, you know what? Let's just have this open. Let's just have a live, without a specific title. And let's just go. Let's be real. Let's be unfiltered. Let's be raw, and let's make it happen. So, without ado, let me bring in Lady Empress. Welcome.
Hey.
So glad to have you. If you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself, who is Lady Empress?
What's goody, guys? What's goody? My name is Lady Empress, aka Lady EMP. I am a ball of energy, honestly. I'm a musician, I'm a mother, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a lover of all good things and people. Good things and people. Because
Yes,
we need more of that. We need
we,
more of that. So I'm
we
super excited to be a special guest. And let's get into it because we got a lot. We got a lot to talk about. Look,
wait. We do got a lot to talk about. As you are coming on, say hello. Let us know who's on, who's watching. But real quick, let's before we like just jump in to
I'm a
conversation.
sad. We love jumping in.
Yeah, right? Like let's
We like
look.
jumping in.
So tell everybody how we met at the Zen bar. Go ahead.
Oh yes, that was dope. I'm sorry, my phone. Okay, don't be acting phone.
And we both from New York, y'all. We
Yes,
both from New York. She got the Jamaican, I got the Haitian,
yes,
New York
baby.
born. So, it's a nice vibe, nice connection.
It is. We are good vibes. We're good vibes and we're good people as long as you treat us good. Treat us good and we'll treat you even better.
That
Honestly.
that
Honestly.
part.
But when we met, it was the Zen bar. That was like last year, I think. Was it last year? It was
Mhm.
last year. And it was cool. It was a cool vibe. I think like that was maybe like my first time coming outside really. So like to be in that energy, to be around all the goddesses and just, good vibes. Good feels, a good vibe. It was dope. So I'm excited and I was happy that I was able to come out and enjoy myself, not just, be outside to be outside. No.
Exactly. And it just kind of happened that I went. It wasn't
Mm.
like it really wasn't planned. I knew about the event, I had heard about the event.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else that I went to first that day. I think it was a Tassili Raw
Oh.
festival or something like that. And then it was like, okay, let's go there. Let's go to Zinbar as well. And so it was really good.
It
Um,
was.
but I really want to share a little bit about your story because you were telling me a little bit last night, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I love this because, it shows your strength, your fortitude, your perseverance, and really how anyone can change a situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to share, like, hey girl, hey Carolyn. So thanks for saying hi. Those of you who are coming on, go ahead and say hello. I'd love to know who's
Hey.
here. Please go ahead and say hi. And any questions you have for us, please go ahead and ask. I love this to be like, you know, active, and just for us to be able to answer anything, any questions that you might have. Okay. So whatever you want to share, if you feel comfortable, whatever you feel comfortable with. It was really touching to me when I was listening to your story.
I feel like a lot of us have went through a lot of things.
Hmm.
I definitely believe that all of our stories really just they intertwine some way, some way, shape, or form. We just really have a lot of things alike. And with my story, I'm a Caribbean descent. Then I moved to New York, lived there for a few years. Then my mom, we just moved around a lot, like a lot. You feel me?
Mhm.
And I'm happy that we did because, when you travel, you get to see a lot of things. And you are a traveler, okay? You are a traveler. So,
Mhm.
you know, how traveling it just makes you feel good. It makes you remember that life isn't just about being stuck in one place, that the world is so big. The world is but so big. So, why not travel? So, anyway, I come from Jamaican descent. I grew up in New York. We came to the South, and then after we came to the South, I just kind of sat here because I'm like, ooh, this is grounding.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm coming from a hustle bustle type of lifestyle. The New York way. That's what we was talking about. The New York hustle bustle. If you're from up north, then like it's a real, it's a real hustle up there. So
Yeah.
that, like, you come to the South, it's like it's chill, it's super
Mhm.
chill. It's more slow pace. You don't have to work as hard too much. You still gotta work. Still gotta put the work in, still put the work in. But it's not as much. So when I came down here, I pretty much just, went into finding my purpose,
Mhm.
really finding my purpose because now I'm able to slow things down. I'm able
Right.
to really like focus on what I need to think about so that I can get to the next level. I could get to the next step. And yeah, when I came down here, went through a lot of a lot of turmoil. But it needed to happen. It
Mm.
needed to happen because if it doesn't happen, then we was talking about yesterday, like you'll just stay the same. You won't know to change until
Mhm.
you go through something that kind of like gives you that aha moment.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I need to change because this isn't feeling too good for me. So yeah, when I came down here, I went through a lot of turmoil, but I went through a lot of lessons.
Mhm.
I got my two babies with me, so I am a mother first and foremost, because the babies matter.
Yeah.
My babies matter, okay? And I hope other people's babies matter because, kids are the future. So if we're not taking care of them, what are we doing?
Right. Right.
What
Yeah.
are we? And even if you don't have kids, you want to make sure that the child that's around you, your community, all of that stuff, that it's benefiting the kid that's watching you.
Mhm. And thank you for that. And thank you guys for coming on. And yes, I'm gonna try to be consistent, y'all, with these lives. I got my lineup for April and May. So we got this. We're gonna keep it going. I know I had like stopped for a while, you know.
You just took a
Um,
pause. We
I took
won't
a
never
while,
stop. You feel me?
gotta
We just
stop,
take
I'm back.
pauses to rest.
Yes, because we need that. That's important. And and the struggle is real, right? And I don't even
True.
want to say that because we're letting go of that. But when I
Hmm.
say the struggle is real, it's like we are all going to go through trials and tribulations. Like it's a part of
Yeah.
life. And so it's like you can either allow it to break you or make you.
Yep.
And so, and I'm sure all of you, like, like you said, Lady Empress, all of you that's coming on here, I'm sure all of you have gone through some things. And if you resonate, go ahead and type in these comments that you resonate with this, that you've been through some things. And so for me too, like, especially as women of color, and we have the generational trauma that's like ingrained in our DNA. And so
Yep.
when we break the cycle and we start to do the work to heal, we're healing the past generations, right? And so in
Agree.
my
Hmm.
particular situation, I too, like you, traveled a lot, right? Lived in
Hmm.
New York, lived in Florida, lived in Virginia, lived in Maryland, moved to Brazil. Now I'm in Atlanta. So there's a Portuguese word called cigana, which is like that means gypsy. So it's almost like that
That's
gypsy
what I
energy
said.
to have
Ooh.
that nomad, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, and so, but through all of
Ooh.
that, like I
Sorry.
remember leaving New York and going to Florida and
Hmm.
just going through a depression, right? Like it
Hmm.
was a depression because in New York, and I understand like my family moved to keep us safe, or to keep me safe, right?
Same.
For us,
Same.
because growing up in New York, we had the crack vials in the streets, we had the drugs, people, the violence. I would come home from school and it was blocked off,
Yeah.
and because it was a shootout, and I would have nightmares like that. I was getting like I was gonna get shot, but I still got depressed and left because I left all of my friends. Things were different.
Yeah.
I came from a multicultural environment to an all-white school, and there,
Like stepping on eggshells sometimes. Like you're stepping on eggshells when we should be comfortable in our skins. We should be
Mhm.
comfortable with being the melanated goddesses that we are. We shouldn't have to tiptoe. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, with programming and a lot of programming,
Yeah.
a lot of us forgot who we are. We've forgotten.
Mhm.
We've
Yeah.
forgotten.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's the past. And now we have reawakened, and we're doing our very best to continue to reawaken others and others and others until we are all, you feel me, on the same
Yeah.
page,
Oops.
truly marching for freedom and other things.
Right. So what do you feel like? What do you feel like helped you to shift? What you were going through in that moment, in that time, to kind of get out of that and be where you are now.
I would say it was a multitude of things. It wasn't just one thing that helped me to get through what I got through. Um, it was a journey. It was
Mhm.
a journey. And one thing that I'm so heavily on my socials is that everybody's rushing to get to the destination, but they're forgetting to enjoy the journey. You
Mhm.
know, like you're rushing to be whatever. You're rushing to be, a dancer, a singer, a model, an actress, an actor, what a mother and a father. We're rushing to be parents sometimes, and some people don't need that.
Right. Or even
Guys,
to get into a relationship. You just meet somebody, a guy or a girl, and
guy
then
or
it's
girl,
you
boyfriend,
rushing to
girl.
automatically
Oh
be
my
married.
God, it's
It's like,
rushing.
right, enjoy the present moment, enjoy the dating stage, enjoy the
Woo.
getting to know each
Where's
other.
my fan? Where's my fan? So I can. Who got a fan? Somebody who's watching. If y'all got
Right,
y'all fans, go ahead. Because
right,
we talking realness. Like the
right.
rush is real. You feel me?
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
rush is real. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much what helped me to build my self-confidence again. It was me just going through the journey. It was me going through the ups and downs. It was me crying at nighttime and working out the next day. It was me isolating. It was me eating healthier. And not just eating healthier. I've always, not always, but in the past few years, I had to retrain my brain to eat, getting back healthy. And it was being more disciplined on eating healthy because once you start this lifestyle, it ain't a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It is truly your health is your wealth.
Mhm.
So I just had to be more disciplined. I had to discipline myself while I was crying. I had to discipline myself while I was working. I had to discipline myself while I was being a mom. So I went through the journey and I went through my emotions and a lot of us, we tend to skip through the hard parts of our emotions. So I feel like that's what stops a lot of people, and that's what keeps people stuck is if you don't feel it, you can't grow. If you don't feel it, then you can't heal
Mhm.
it.
That's it. That's it. You done said a word. I feel like we in church. The good kind, the real
Who
kind.
got the fan? Who got the fan?
Right, right. Because so many people want to stuff down their feelings, right? But
Hmm.
that's the biggest secret to healing. And so my background is in psychotherapy, right? As before doing all of it, I'm a psychotherapist at heart, right? I got my master's in psychology. And so people will be like, "Oh, I go to the therapist," and they're like, "How does that make you feel?" And and they're like, "Ah, that's." But I'm like, "But that's the key to healing." And so
Hello.
even for me, that was one of the big parts that I struggled with, right? Like, um, because society wants you to suppress everything and repress, right? The
Exactly.
emotion. And so me growing up too, my mom was very big on not allowing me to cry and feel because I had to be
Yeah, like what's
New
up
York,
with that?
right? Like I be crying.
Don't cry.
You
You
better stop
can't
crying.
cry.
I'm gonna give you something to cry about. And I'm like,
Yes. I'm
okay,
already crying. Maybe I just need a hug.
right, maybe I just need a hug. Like,
Maybe I just need a hug, Mom.
right. But that's the thing, New York, Caribbean,
Uh,
right? Like they don't
if any one of us grew up in the Caribbean island household, y'all know.
understand.
Y'all know. I ain't got nothing
Right,
else to say. Y'all know.
right. And so, and it truly is. And that's why a lot of the work that I do with my clients, because I know a lot of times people don't even know what they're feeling, right? So I do a
Right.
lot of the somatic body
Would you
work. When
like?
we do that one-on-one, we're gonna talk, we're gonna do the somatic work, we're gonna do the breath work, those
Yeah.
different things to get that out so they're not stuck in your body, right? And so on that note, real quick, if you are in Atlanta this Saturday at
Ooh.
2 p.m. at Decatur Healing Arts Center, I'm going to be offering Tantra Cacao Vibe Ceremony. And we're going to
Nice.
be drinking on cacao, which is a heart opening. We're going to do some tantric breath work to really release that stuck energy, right?
Mhm.
To let it out. And then we're going to dance, we're going to move, and we're going to do a
Nice.
to really open up that heart so that you can give and receive love. So if you're in Atlanta, that's this weekend, this Saturday, and that link is in
Y'all
my
tap in.
bio.
Y'all tap in.
Yes, yes. So I had to get that little shameless plug
As
real
you
quick because
should.
we're
As
talking
you
about
should.
somatic
As
work.
you should. As you should, Queen.
Yes, thank you. And Carolyn says, yes, enjoy the dating and actually collect data, right? Like, people want to move and you don't even know if this person is right for you, but you're already like, I want to
Mhm.
I want to be married. Enjoy dating and dating multiple people, not
Yeah.
just one person. And get out
Yes.
of your head because society's like, oh, you're a hoe, you're a this if you date. You gotta date more than one person to
To
get to know
know.
who you are, what you
How you gonna know?
and the same thing, like as part of this journey, even us, right? Like it doesn't mean we're not like we're so enlightened that nothing is ever going to happen again. This
Exactly.
is part of the journey.
Everything is gonna happen.
Everything is going to happen. And sometimes the
Everything
more
will
work
happen,
you do,
literally.
the more stuff comes up, right? And happens.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, I'm human and thank you for allowing me to feel and experience these emotions and these different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kiwana, yes, the struggle is real. I'm glad you feel safe.
Aw, thank you.
That's healing. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank
Good, good, because this is what we need. Village,
you.
tribe, communionship. A lot of people want to do things alone, and even though some things you do have to go through alone, other things, the next part of that is coming together. The next part of that is finding your tribe. The next part of that is finding people that are just like you who are on that journey, because not everybody's on the same journey, guys. Not everybody's on the same path as you. So when you outgrow old people, you got to find your new tribe and continue to grow with that. So I'm happy that this is a safe space for you because you are in safe hands, honey.
Mhm.
You are
Yes.
in safe hands because those are the people that you want to be around. I'm not putting my heart or hands into anybody that doesn't have the best for me. Period.
Period.
Period. Okay.
Period.
Because we ain't gonna play with the enemy today or tomorrow or the next day. No. We're not
Right.
playing. Drop 100 if you agree. Drop 100, guys, if you agree. We're not putting our hands in the enemy's territory no more.
No more. No
It,
more.
it has to be it has to do away because if not, then we're going to continue the cycle all over again and again and again and
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
So why do we want to continue the same cycle that hasn't been working?
Right.
Fool me
Right.
once,
We got 100 right here. We got 100.
Okay. Fool me once. You ain't gonna fool me again.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. And so it's like it's so interesting. I was just kind of thinking about just the power of manifestation right now, right? Like just we're going through a time where there's so much going on, and um it's like money's tight, right? For a lot of people, everything's going up. Eggs are like $20. Gas
Mhm.
is like $5 basically. You know, like everything is going up. Atlanta Airport is about to start charging $30 a day, going from 10 to $30 a day.
What?
And so, yeah, it's like crazy right.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Which is why I said we need each other more than ever.
We need community more than ever.
I need a friend with a jet. You feel me? I
Right,
need a friend who can teach me how to be a pilot. So we don't even gotta play that stuff, okay?
right.
We don't need them. They need us.
They need us.
Okay?
They need us. And it was so crazy because I was just like, literally like 3 days ago, I was like, oh my God, I want a Nama juicer. Like, I need a Nama juicer, right? My
Yeah.
juicer just broke. I've had three, I was on my third juicer
Yeah.
and it just broke. So I was like, you know what? I just need a Nama. Like, I need
Mhm.
a Nama J too.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, I need to manifest that. And I
Yep.
was like, should I like do a GoFundMe for a juicer or something? But I'm like, you know what? I got to manifest this. And then I tell you no lie, 2 days ago, Wednesday, was it yesterday? No, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was going to my Qigong class. I called up a friend who lives in Decatur.
Hmm.
And I was like, hey, you're in Decatur. I'm going to Qigong. You want to come join me in Decatur? I hadn't seen her in forever.
Yeah.
And she was like, she came. And then you know what? After
What?
class, she was like, I have a Nama juicer. Do you want it? I was
Look
like,
at God.
I never use it. And something told me to bring it to you. And since I just saw you, I hadn't seen you in forever. I saw you. I was like,
Hello.
yeah.
Hello.
No. So it's like we can manifest. And so many times the things you want to manifest, you get like a little thing to do something and then you don't do it.
Yep.
And then you can block yourself. And so when something told me to call and invite her, I had to listen to that. I didn't
Exactly.
know why I was calling to invite her because I hadn't
Hmm.
seen her in a long time and I hadn't talked to her in a long time.
Yep.
The fact that I called her and was like, hey, do you want to go? Then she was like, oh, I got this juicer I'm not using. She's not on my social media, so she doesn't even know that I've been
Anything.
using. On my social media, if you watch me, you always see me doing Happy Ginger Shop Monday. And so
Hello.
she's like,
Hmm.
someone told me to give you this juicer. And I was like, look at that. So, these things
Look at
happen.
God.
So, right. So it's like we have to trust and we have to know that
Right.
where we're at right now in this journey
Hmm.
is not where we're gonna be all the time. But you have to be in this moment to get to where you're going.
Yep.
You have to be in this moment so that you can help someone. There's a slight echo, I think, because of yeah. Can you turn the volume down? All right,
Okay.
thanks.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so you have to be in this moment. Um, so that you can go through what you're going through because you might heal somebody else. You might
Hmm.
help someone else who's going through similar things as you, or just for you to become more evolved and enlightened. But throughout the process, you got to trust, right? And I
That's right.
always say, you know, I don't look at how much money I have in my bank account because I know that I'm abundance and I know that things are going to come. I didn't
Yeah.
have the money in my bank account to
Look, I
buy.
think I got an affirmation back there. I kid you not. That says like it says like April abundance, like we are abundant for real.
We are abundant. And it's like I didn't have the money in my bank account to buy that Nama juicer, but I was like, I gotta
Mhm.
manifest it. I want it, I need it
Yeah.
and it came. And so that's the thing is like trusting and not worrying about how you're going to get something or how you're going to do it. Know that it will happen. But
Hmm.
doesn't mean you just say, I want to get this, and then you don't do nothing at all. Like you just sit.
Faith without works is dead. So
Say that
if
again.
if you if you want something, faith without works is dead. So you have to have the faith. That's one. And then you got to put in the work, baby. You got to put in the work. And the work may just be like you said, you went to your key young class. So that was the work that you did. You could have went home and been like, "Oh, I don't got a juicer. I'm so mad. I'm so angry." But you chose to be positive. You chose to continue your day,
Hmm.
and you listened and you were blessed. So
Exactly.
that
And so, and when you say that, it's like, it's also like not going into the negative, to not be like, not once am I like, I don't have the money, I can't do this, I'm so
yeah,
broke. Like, I'm not
so
saying
true.
that, right?
So true.
And you are a master manifester. And so, even honestly, because I'm at a point where I'm
You're
like, you know
so
what, I
fun.
need to save. It just won't stop. You manifested. You know what? You're
Yay.
so right. You remember that story. So y'all, so I manifested a car too because I came here from
Nice.
Brazil and I didn't have a car. And I
Hmm.
was like, just taking a MARTA, the metro tune from work and everything. And then a friend of mine who I met in Brazil, she was like, Prandhara, I'm going back to Brazil. Will you just take my car and just, it's basically paid off, just pay the insurance? And I was like, what? I was like, okay, yeah.
Facts.
Save me some money. So, yes. But like, so, and that, and okay. And so what am I doing? Right. There's nothing that special about me that makes me be such a manifester. Right. What I'm doing, all of you can do. I'm,
Mhm.
doing my Kundalini yoga. I do my breath work. I'm drinking my cacao.
There
I
you
do
go.
qigong. I'm doing all of these things to work on my energy. I'm meditating when I'm at home. I'm, you know,
Affirmations.
and
Have your affirmations.
I'm listening. So all of those things are important to do.
They definitely are. I strongly agree with you. That was a big thing in my journey is if other people aren't going to speak life into me, I must speak it in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I got to speak it in myself. And like we said before, growing up in the New York household, Caribbean household, you don't kind of get too much affection, guys. I mean,
Right.
not from the ones that aren't affectionate. I'm not going to say all of us, because everybody has a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'll just say that for me, I didn't get a lot of affection growing up. So I didn't really know how to take it once I got older, all the affection from relationships or people and friends, because it was foreign. So it's like, you got to tell yourself these things. Y'all see it right behind me.
Yeah.
This is my everyday. Like, you were saying when you get up, I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking life over myself. I'm
Mhm.
thanking the Most High that I'm alive, that I have breath to do the things that, the Most High wants me to do. And then I'm coming over here and I'm like, okay, what should I do next? Because I want to be disciplined in the things that I need to get done, honestly. So I totally agree with that in the sense of having your balance. And what I mean by balance is your individual balance. Everybody's balance looks different. I'm a mom of two, so my balance is going to look different from your balance.
Mhm.
um, so pretty much I would just stick to a routine that makes you feel good and happy and does your body good. That's it.
Yeah.
Does your body good.
Yes, it does. It does. So, uncomfortable truths says nothing is a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And that is so true. That is so true. Everything happens for a reason. And I think that, we have to understand that. We have to know that whether it's good or bad, we try to make it as good or bad. Things are it just is. It is what it is.
It
And
is.
you don't have to quantify it as good or bad. Everything happens for a reason, and everything honestly happens for our own good. We
Yeah.
may not feel like it in the moment, but when I say own good, maybe it's a lesson, maybe it's a learning. You know, So for so many different, so many different things, so many different reasons. So yeah,
It's
yeah.
true. And you know what? I had posted this. If you guys don't follow me, I'm on Instagram. She's Lady EMP. And I do a lot of motivation and I do things to where something like this, we're just having a normal conversation that needs to be said. And one of the posts that I had put was we can overthink ourselves into a miserable state sometimes where we just overthink. Oh, Lord. Sorry, guys.
Mm,
Let me come back. There we go. We can overthink ourselves into a miserable state instead of just letting go, knowing that your God, our God, will always provide no matter what. No matter what, no matter what happens for your bad, it will always turn out for your good in some way, shape, or form. That's how I like to live. That's how I like to go by in my life because, like you just said, there's no coincidences. We were already pre, we were already pretty much pre-made. We were pre-made for this moment right now. We were
mhm.
molded and doled together for this moment right here, and we can't stop because we each have a gift to give to ourselves in the world. So I totally agree with that, and I'll drop my Instagram down here. If you guys want to take a follow, I would appreciate it. It is She's Lady EMP. And I would love to connect with you guys as well. I do
Yeah.
holistic and health and wellness. I do my sea moss. I'm on my fruit journey. I love fruits, like cedar
Did you
fruit.
cut?
Let's be
Did you
clear,
cut the?
cedar fruit. I know you guys are mad. Um,
Yeah.
I know you guys. Y'all have to be mad that we can't find too many seeds in our fruits. Like I'm attacking that. Okay, I'm attacking that because if God didn't make it, don't take it. You feel me? If God didn't make it, don't take it.
Hmm.
If there's no seeds in it, why are we taking it? That means it's man-made. Man not no lab rat. Man not a lab rat. Why would my what? What are we saying here? Don't get me started. Do not get me started. But
Yes.
honestly,
So go ahead and follow her at IG at she's Lady M.
yeah,
Okay,
she's
perfect.
Lady EMP.
Yes, yes. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, please, and the notification bell so that you can receive notifications on my upcoming live.
Yay.
Um, can't wait.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah, and let's grow together. We got to continue to grow together. You feel me? If we're
Hmm.
not growing together, what are we doing? We just
Right.
staying stagnant. We
Just staying
stay, we can't stay stagnant. No,
safe.
no. We
Mhm.
got to grow. It's funny. I have a song called It's Time to Grow.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
It is coming out. I'm working on my EP now. And
Uh-huh.
between everything that I do and motherhood and,
Hmm.
life, motherhood and life, let's just be honest, motherhood and life pretty much. I will, though, I am dropping my EP by the end of the year. So be on the lookout. I'm on Spotify as Lady EMP. And it's just rebuilding right now. I'm rebuilding myself first and foremost so that I can rebuild, the things that are near and dear to me cuz that's how you got to do it, right? You got to build yourself up first. Build
Yep. Yep.
yourself up first.
Yep. Yep. Because, you got to build yourself up first. You got to build yourself up because ain't nobody else going to build you up. You got to build you up.
Yep.
You got to work on your self love. You got to work on your discipline, on your healing, doing that
Mhm.
shadow work, doing the shadow work, the inner child work, the mirror work, you
Yep.
know, and these are things that are so hard. And that's, when I first started learning Tantra, and I lived in a Tantra
Ooh,
country for
love
like
Tantra.
2 years.
Hmm.
And it wasn't easy. Like I would be in there doing the work, the tantric meditations, the breath work, the tantric massage, crying, you know,
Shadow
seeing
work. It's not fun.
it's not, and Tantra really is shadow work, right? People think, so when people hear Tantra, they think, oh, I'm going to learn all these sex positions and I'm going to be the best lover I can be. Yeah, you're going to be the best lover you can be, but it's not because I'm teaching you sex positions. It's because we're doing the work, right? It's because we're going in deep into that shadow, into that darkness,
Lord, going deep.
them out, right? We're balancing the chakras, and it's not necessarily easy or fun all the time, right?
Mhm.
There is crying, there is screaming, there is letting go. And so,
I just
if
told you I was crying all last week because my car. It's
yeah,
like it's like
yeah,
I'm just trying. I'm like people don't understand what happens on the other side of this healing journey. Is you're gonna get tested. You
mm-hmm,
are going to get tested, and through these tests, you can cry through it. You can
yeah,
cry through it, and you can
right,
find a good shoulder to cry on. Not
mm-hmm,
a nigga, not just any chick, not any hoe. Find a real person that you can cry on and they can hold space for you because we need that. We
yeah,
need that. We need that sometimes. I can cry on myself all day, every day, but there's nothing like, for me, a strong chocolate man holding me and saying it's going to be okay.
right,
And that can be platonic and or in a relationship. We got to
mhm,
get back to just being friends with men before thinking he's going to be your husband. Can he
right,
be a friend?
right, right,
So
exactly.
we got to cry through some things. I will never not say that, especially coming from a household where you couldn't cry. You couldn't cry,
Exactly.
okay?
Household, I couldn't cry, couldn't
I'm
cry.
gonna cry my eyes out now. You can't
Oh,
tell me no.
I'm
Cry.
now. I be watching
And
a
then the next day, and then the next day, I'm gonna demolish some shit, okay? The next day, I'm gonna build me some stuff. The next day, I'm going to create after I didn't cry.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. So, so if you wasn't able to cry before, but now you cry and you let it out, go ahead and type 102.
Yes. You couldn't do it before, and you can do it now. Cry now, guys. Cry now.
Right. Peace to the goddesses sharing the love
Ain't
and
to you
wisdom.
uncomfortable truths.
Yes,
That's what we talking about, uncomfortable truths right now.
yes,
And trust and believe. I have the utmost respect for our black men. I have the
yes.
utmost respect for everything that our men do, but especially our melanin men, because
Mm,
we know that you guys are so dope. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are
right.
fantastic. Y'all are truly just, oh, that's all I'm gonna say.
Mm. And also, uncomfortable truths. If you are in Atlanta, come on Saturday to the cacao ceremony because we have so many women coming. Like I'll have like 15 women and like 2 men. And
No, we need the
so
men to show up too. We need y'all
we,
too,
we need
kings.
we need the men to show up, right? Because we all need to do our part. We all need to do the healing. And I know
Yep.
for men, especially for men, you're taught, oh, you got to be strong. You can't go do therapy. You can't go do this. That's if you're weak. It's not true, right? Like
No.
we have to get out of that narrative that we've been hearing things that's all a design to keep the black family in shambles,
Yep.
right? And so that's where all of that comes from, to keep us hurt and in shambles.
Ooh,
So
say that again.
yes,
Say it
and so
again.
yes,
Say it
so
again.
all of that talk, that nonsense about therapy, healing is for weak. You got to be strong, or just go to church, or just pray to God. It's to keep the black family in
No.
shambles. That
Get
whole
around you a
turn
good
the other
queen.
cheek, turn the other cheek is so that they can keep beating us and doing all of this stuff and we not fight back. It's time for us to fight back. And going to these circles, going to this tantra workshops, these cacao ceremonies, these different things is resistance. And more so than ever, we need community. We
Yeah.
need to do our healing work, and we need to rise together as a
Yeah.
community. And so
Drop some fires if y'all agree. Drop some fires if y'all agree.
Yes.
Do we or do we not need to elevate ourselves from the mindset that's been keeping us chained down? Drop some fires in there if y'all truly agree. It's time to raise your flame. It's time to
Yes.
raise that flame up. It
Mhm.
is time to raise the flame.
Okay, I love this. So real quick, Uncomfortable Truth said amen. Got that? We got a flame. Okay,
Let's
so Craig,
go.
thank you.
Let's
I love
go.
that
Let's
question.
go.
Okay, how is your training beneficial for us men? How do we prepare? Okay, so couple things. Let me go first, and then I'm gonna let you go so you can talk as well. I'm
Okay.
gonna talk specifically about tantra. Okay, one, with for men, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of times, again, you're conditioned that you have to be strong, right? You can't connect to your feelings, right? And so when we do the tantra cacao ceremonies, but that specifically like Saturday, whether you're here in Atlanta or not, I'm going to talk about that. It's allowing you to get that emotional release and release that stuck information. And it's not necessarily through talking. And so it's through the movement. And so with Tantra, even without doing the cacao ceremony, it's a lot of somatic body work, right? So sometimes you're not even in touch with what you're feeling, but you might let out sound, scream, yell, laugh, anything that's cathartic. And so when I do a tantric massage, for example, or kundalini activation healing with men or women, but with men, because you're a man that's asking, it's going to help you release and understand what you're feeling, understand where you're at and what you need to do to move forward. It gets you out of your stuckness, gets you out of being stagnant so that you can move forward and begin to heal and start to have better conversations, better communication. One of the things that I love about Tantra is really designed to help improve intimacy and connection between individuals. And us
Mm.
as Black couples or Black families need that. So I'm
Agreed.
teaching things like being able to do eye gazing, looking into each other's eyes, how to connect at deeper soulful levels and not
Mhm.
just through sex, right? We learn because we watch porn all the time. This is what we got to do. And half the times, most of the things on porn is fake. And so now you're thinking you're doing something, and then the women are faking, right? You're in this sex, you're having sex with your girl, and she's faking like
Ooh.
she's having orgasms, right? And so when I teach individual people or couples, I'm teaching you techniques so that both men and women can have full body orgasms. And that could be with or without penetration. You can have
Mhm.
full body orgasms and feel pleasure just from the activities, looking into each other's eyes, the breath work that I'm doing. Then
Yeah.
for individual, there's a lot of solo tantra where I'm doing this work with you to release that blockage so you can get to this point where you can have full body orgasms. And men can have full body orgasms most of the times that they don't. So that's what I call soul touch. That is a soul touch, right? Um, and so okay, so and we're gonna get to this question too in a bit, Natasha. Perfect. Love that question too. And so, when you do that solo tantra work and you're drinking the cacao, you're doing the tantric breath work, tantric massage, kundalini activation healing, you're opening up space, you're activating, you're balancing your chakras, you're opening up space for you to become more vulnerable. And that's a scary word. People want to be vulnerable. But but to become more vulnerable so that you can now allow love in. You can allow someone to truly see you. Into
Mhm.
me, you see true intimacy
That part.
without fears and trusting in yourself to allow that right person in.
Woo.
Let you go take that.
Let me snap to that, guys. Snap to that, okay? I don't
That
got my
soul
pen, but snap to that.
touch.
Snap to that answer, because that is truth. She's speaking truth. And honestly, there's not too much more to add to that. But Craig, honestly, for me personally, you said you just hopped on, so I'll just give you a quick brief about how I've learned to heal through my traumas and through the things that was very difficult for me to retrain. I come from island background, Caribbean, so it's not as much affection. I come from the hood, YO, New York, D Block. So I also have that attribute to me, the hood. You feel me? I'm also a mom of two, okay? So there's a lot of things that I had to truly kick back. I had to truly stop and still my mind. That's what it truly comes down to, stilling your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Once you are able to get a hold of your emotions, which can be in the form of many things, because I don't know you personally, I would say you like to read from the picture that I see. So if you like to read or if you like to work out, I would start there,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to do the things first that you love for yourself in order to clear your mind, because you're thinking about XYZ, Patrice, Tanya, not saying female wise in general, but I'm just saying all of the thoughts. I just use those as examples.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that I would do is start with a notebook and start talking to yourself more.
I love that.
Stop, not saying you're doing this per se, I'm just speaking in general, but one thing I did, I stopped. I tuned everything out. I threw out my TV, to be honest with you. I knew something was up. I was getting distracted. I was focusing on the wrong things. That's what the enemy wants, right? The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy and to confuse. Let's not forget. So at a younger age, I realized that because my spirit guides was on me. They was on me.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you got to get it together before years come. So what I did was I threw out my TV. I was in my early 20s and I threw it out. I said, I got to focus more because I need more finances. I'm not where I'm at in my life. And yeah, I was in my 20s, but we always want to think ahead. Um, I'm not where I'm at. I need more money. I want a house. I want my farm. I want a garden. I was always like this. Again, I'm from the Caribbean. So I wanted the home. I wanted the home inside of the home. So I started with my notebook. I grabbed my notebook and I started jotting down. Look, I have notebooks for days. Look, I got notebooks for days, okay? We pulling out notebooks for days because it starts with you. It starts with what is it that you need to heal from so that you can start truly focusing on what you want to focus on being the best version for yourself, male or female.
Mm-hmm.
You have to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
Start with you.
Yeah. And
Y'all looking at affirmations in the back because I have to remind myself every single day. I've been on my healing journey for 5 years now. This is still 5 years worth of discipline of me writing down the things that I need to continuously program into my mind every single day, that I am worthy, I am enough, I am abundant, I am the creation of the most high. Okay? We
mm,
are we are favored, baby. We are favored.
yeah,
Don't forget it. Look,
yeah.
flick your head, you need to drop 100. Do a little pimp walk, whatever you need to. Just kidding. Do what you need to remind yourself you are already favored. You are already chosen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I believe, Craig, you're in Brazil, right? You still on? I believe you're in Brazil. Um, and so are you, correct me if I'm wrong, Craig, are you still on? Are you in Brazil? You're in Sao Paulo, probably, or Rio? Um, so I just wanted to like touch on that. If you are in Brazil,
mhm,
go to nature. That's a good place to prepare.
mhm,
Go to the beach, go to the park. If you're in Sao Paulo, they don't really have, okay, yeah, Sao Paulo. So you're not going to be so close to the beach, but there's a lot of parks in Sao Paulo. Go to the
mhm,
park, bring a journal, bring a notebook, right? Whatever, and write.
yeah,
Get to know yourself. A lot of self-reflection is important.
mhm,
Um, so that self-reflection and just being in nature charges you, it changes you.
yeah. I was gonna say that next. I'm like, get your butt out in nature, because
Yes, take off your
nature will steal your mind.
yes, take off
Easy.
your shoes, get barefoot if you feel
Ground
comfortable.
yourself.
Yes, hug a tree. I know guys might feel like
Seriously.
that's weird or that's strange, or just if you feel like that's strange. And one of the things that I love about Brazil, Don't nobody be worried about what you're doing. You can go hug a tree
That's
and
the
ain't
type of
nobody
people
gonna
we
be
like. Mind your business.
like,
Let me hug a tree in peace.
right. So I would
Mhm.
say that as well. Like really, and then get clear on, okay, when you say how is your training beneficial for men, let's go specifically to you, right? Get clear on what you want, what you feel like you want and need in your
Mhm.
life, right? What will be your goals? How can you achieve those goals? And to figure that out, being in nature, being in silence, and then
Yeah.
right? Then you can go in, and I would say breath work. Everything that Lady Empress said was great as well. But um, making sure you're doing that breath work as well.
Mhm.
Um, and books, like she said, there's a lot of great books. If you want to, my area of expertise is tantra. But right, what is there anything specific that you're looking for? If you want to go, you want to expand on your question when you say training beneficial? That way we can go deeper and I just don't talk about tantra if that's not what you're interested in. But there's a lot of great books on tantra, like urban tantra.
Yoga, doing yoga as well,
Yeah, so there's
stretching, calisthenics.
there's Urban Tantra by Barbara Carellis. If you want that, Taoism is really good for.
Oh,
There's a lot of great stuff. Mantak Chia. So like if you're looking into gaining more energy and preserving your sexual energy, there's a lot of Taoist and tantric techniques that you could do to help with that, right? Like so depending on what you want to work with specifically, I'm doing qigong, yoga, like Lady Empress said, tai chi, there's kundalini yoga,
mhm.
hatha yoga, there's so many different ones. So getting clear on what you feel like you need and you want.
That's yeah. Oh, we're saying the same thing. You got to start within. You have to
Mhm.
start with what will bring you the most fulfillingest thing. For me, it's music.
Mhm.
I love doing breath work. I love doing tantra. I love doing calisthenics. I love playing with the dog. I love playing with the kids.
Mhm.
But nothing will bring my soul the most happiest thing than me singing in front of random people.
Yes,
And
yes.
in front of myself, but it's always better when you can bring more people to you and we all vibe it. I'm a 90s baby with an 80s soul. So
Mhm.
you got to bring good vibes to something to allow your dreams to manifest. Everything comes from energy. So as long as you feel good when you're doing it, as long as you're not harming anybody, of course, in between this process, it will manifest quicker. You feel me? It will manifest quicker. You got to feel it to know that it's the right thing because, the Most High gave you that vision. So you got to start asking yourself the deep, hard questions that unfortunately nobody asks a lot of us growing up. How do
Mhm.
you feel? Like you said, you go to therapy and counseling, and it's how do you feel? Some people don't have an answer. And I ask that question all the time to my friends in tribe. How you feeling today?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's dive into it. You feel good? You feel happy? You feel sad? Let's start feeling. Let's.
Yes,
We've all numbed ourselves at a point and degree. We've numbed ourselves so badly that some of us can't receive love properly, and some of us can't give love properly. And we have to stop that if we are to move forward in life. We have to stop that. We got to move forward with love.
mhm.
Love is God and God is love. So we must move forward in that direction.
Yes, so true, so true. All right. So, Craig, if you want to write more about anything specific, so Natasha says, share about the physical and chemical change that happens to the human body from crying. You want me to go first, or you want to go first? I went first
Uh,
last.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because this is for me. Like I said, I cried all last week.
All right.
So for me, I was just like, especially from me not, crying as much in my younger years. I would just say that when I cry, it's a relief to the body it becomes a stress relievant to where I'm able to actually, oops, sorry, I'm able to actually feel all of my emotions. I'm able to feel all of my emotions and just let it flow. So, in a chemical or in a scientific way, it's releasing any type of ions and neons and all the good stuff in our body. It's releasing that, and I'll get the proper term another time.
Yeah. Well, it's releasing like a lot of the endorphins
There
and
we go.
oxytocin
There we
levels
go.
in your body, so you feel better. So it's a cathartic release, and it
Hmm.
also activates the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, that
Hmm.
fight or flight response, so that you can be a little bit more calm, right? Because we want to activate that sympathetic nervous system to be more calm, and
Yep.
so when you cry, you're releasing those endorphins and the oxytocin, and that really does help
Mhm.
you to feel better. And so, especially when you have a good cry, um,
Whew. That's
yelling
why we
does
call
that.
it a good cry, right? A
Good
good
cry,
cry. Like I
yes,
done cried it out.
yes. And
I'm
it's
not
so
worried
funny
about it.
because, right, it's so funny because where I live in my condo, I'll do some workshops here in my house, right?
Good.
Like small intimate ones. And I'm like, my neighbors are so used to hearing screaming, yelling, crying noise coming out. When I first moved here, they were probably like, what the heck is going on? But I think they're just used to it. So I come out, my neighbors be like, ah, you're like,
That's funny.
because I'll be having like I'll be having cacao ceremonies here too. I'll do hape ceremony
Hmm.
and things like that. And so a lot of times I didn't expect it at first, but like I didn't realize, like I thought I could kind of like contain it. But I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna contain it. If my neighbors be like, what's going on? I'm gonna be like, what's going on? So I allow people and I create
That's
that
a New Yorker.
space there, right? And I just let them scream
That's the
and
New Yorker you. We gonna do it. We gonna heal tonight, guys.
yes,
You can
yes,
either you with it or you ain't.
exactly, exactly.
I love it.
So so awesome. Okay, so if anyone else, hope that answers your question, Natasha. So it's really good. There's a lot, so there's actually a crygasm as well. So there's so many different types of orgasm, and crygasm is one of them. I mean, you can have that good cry where it leads and it turns into an orgasm. You
Hmm.
can have a laughgasm where people are laughing so much and they end up having an orgasm, right? That's our body is just so like what's the word I'm looking for? It's
We're
like
adaptable, really. That's
yeah,
the truth. We can adapt to everything, but
yeah, and our body is amazing.
it is.
Amazing. I can have orgasms from somebody just doing this on my scalp or
Can I
rubbing
tell you
on
this quick
my knee.
story? Can I tell y'all this quick story?
Yes, tell us.
I had my first like head massage, like my hair from it was a guy friend, and he was a gentleman, so that I love that in the aspect of everything doesn't always have to be about sex. It really doesn't. It's about the connection you make with a person, and also the fact that you can just be yourself around that person. So they gave me the best head massage. In the sense, they just all they did was this, and I've never had a head massage before. Never had a head massage. So it was just like, it was just so wonderful. And it wasn't sexual. We didn't end up having sex. Like I said, this was just a male acquaintance for me. And I tell you, like, I got to get into the motion of it because, I got to go back into the memory because I want to feel good. You feel me? And when I tell y'all, it was the best head massage ever. It stimulated everything, okay? And you can do it to yourself too. You know, I have a store now. I'll drop the link, and I sell herbal products. I sell products for, our wellness. I sell sea moss. I sell teas. I sell things that can help you. really alleviate certain aches and pains. But head massage, that was one of them. We had some coconut oil in my head,
Ooh.
and it felt so good. It felt like that was the best. It felt so good, and I've never had it before. So because I've never had it, at first I kind of was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Get out my head."
Girl, listen, you need to have a tantric massage with me.
I
Talking about
do,
that head massage feels
I
good.
do,
Let me tell you, a tantric
I
massage.
do.
Ooh,
And I'm actually looking for a Thai masseuse too. So if you know how to do Thai, please be in my 2-in-1 shop. Okay.
ooh. I know somebody who does Thai massage. Let me get him out here.
Yes, because
I'm sure there's people in Atlanta, but I don't know anyone in Atlanta. I do know someone in South Carolina or North Carolina. I think he's in North Carolina, but he goes to Atlanta often, and he does Thai massage. I just
is
got a
that
Thai massage.
the fruit guy? Is his Instagram fruit? Because he does the same
No,
thing too. So I
oh, okay,
had
no,
to
no,
figure him out, but
somebody else. Um, yeah, so real quick, so tantric massage. I remember when I was living in a tantric commune and I got my first tantric massage. I would be like, oh my god, and I'm like going back, and it's like resisting that pleasure, right?
yes, it's
And so
resisting the pleasure
it's
that we
resisting
were
the pleasure
supposed to have since birth, pretty
since birth.
much.
Pleasure's our birthright,
Yeah.
and so I had to like allow myself to surrender. And when they're doing the tantric massage and you're just doing this light touch over my head, my arms, I was having full body orgasms, like full
Mhm.
body orgasms without you even touching my genitals.
Yes.
So, and
Hello.
I do this tantric massage with women who's been sexually abused, who can't like, can't have sex. It's painful now. I had a woman who had vaginismus, which is painful sex, and the vagina like closed shut, and she couldn't have
Mm-hmm.
sex. I did like 8 sessions with her, and the
Oh,
8 sessions
yeah.
because like she had vaginismus, and she went to the gynecologist. The
Yeah.
gynecologist was like, take some numbing pills. Let's put
You see?
Botox in the vagina. And I'm like,
Oh my
do not
God.
do that. Botox is a toxin. And
Hello.
it's a toxin. And what it's going to do is numb your vagina. And it's going to be like, did you know how you see people with the Botox, their eyebrows are like this? This is how
Yes. So
your
now your
vagina
vagina
looks.
like this.
Right. But you're not going to
Sorry.
feel any pleasure. This is
Yeah,
only going to
exactly. You
allow
can't.
your partner to now feel pleasure and have and come. You're going to
Yep.
be a receptacle, a sperm receptacle, and not feel anything. So I was
Yep.
like, don't do anything. Work with me first. I said, give me 3 months.
Yep.
And less than 3 months, we did 8 sessions. We were doing it twice a week. We were
Mm-hmm.
doing sessions twice a week, 2, 4, 6, 8. So within a month, she was like, Prandhara, I can have sex. Within 2 months,
Yay.
she's like, I'm riding my boyfriend now
Good.
and feeling
Good.
so much pleasure, and I'm having orgasms.
Ashe.
And so
Ashe
I'm
for
like,
her. Let's
yes,
give a
I'm
round of
like,
applause for her.
that is the
'Cause
power as
yes.
opposed to as opposed to doing something
Numbing
that
yourself.
right,
As
exactly.
opposed to numbing yourself, because when you
Right,
numb yourself you don't feel it, and if you don't feel it, then how will you know that that's an issue?
exactly.
We talked about that yesterday. How do people know what their sickness is if you're not confronting the sickness, if you're not confronting what's bothering you or what needs to be healed? Then you're not doing your due diligence to bettering yourself.
Exactly.
Bettering of self means getting to the nitty gritty and figuring out what needs to be taken out, what needs to, be taken out
Mhm.
of the body, taken out of the mind, the soul, the spirit, so that you can replenish yourself with pleasure.
Exactly.
With pleasure.
Exactly. Exactly.
With pleasure.
Y'all, if y'all are the ATL, New York, DC, Brazil, because I go to Brazil often,
Yes.
hit me up. We can go ahead and schedule a tantric massage, a
Yes.
private hape cacao ceremony, or kundalini activation healing. Um, so Lady Empress, do you want to like you got anything coming up you want to share with
Yes.
viewers?
Um, what I'm gonna do, I need to grab the charger.
Okay, go ahead and grab the
Sit
charger and I'm gonna go
down,
ahead and talk
y'all.
about my stuff.
Yeah.
You grab your charger.
So let me just zoom on out just a half a second.
All right. So for me, as she get her charger, um, I have this Saturday, April 26th at 2:30 p.m. Decatur Healing Arts Center. I will be offering a tantra cacao vibe ceremony. We are going to vibe out. We're going to dance. We're going to sip on cacao. We're going to do some tantric breath work to really have a nice emotional release. Natasha, if you're still watching, come on Saturday. Decatur Healing Arts. Come on. I'd love to see you again. Um, and we're going to dance. We're going to do a love box. It's going to be amazing. I am also available for private ceremonies, private retreats. I do have my retreat coming, my plant medicine retreat coming up in Brazil, the Awakening the Spirit Plant Medicine Retreat, January 27th to February 5th, 2026. So that's going to be amazing. Come join me there. Um, what else? That's what I got going on. So if you want to do a private session with me, come on, let's do a private session. Let's do the Tantra Cacao ceremony one-on-one. I also do online individual sessions online. So you can hit me up virtually or in person. All right, welcome back, Lady
I am
Empress.
back. I am back. Um, there we go. So pretty much, I have my store that I have open, my online store. I have a recipe smoothie and shake ebook. So if you love smoothies, that's what helped me lose 20 pounds.
Ooh.
I went on my sea moss and smoothie journey, and
You know
it
what? I
was,
want to say that really does work. I lost
oh
40
my
pounds
God.
and I was doing juicing and smoothies as well and intermittent fasting, eating
Yep.
like one meal a day to include all of my vegetables and stuff like that,
Yep.
and protein in the forms of beans, nuts, seeds, and then doing juices and
Yep.
smoothies. Yes.
That's what I did. When I got my biggest, which was after I had my son, that's when my mind was like all over the place. And I'm like, I am not living right. I'm not
Mhm.
living right. 40 pounds bigger, 30 pounds bigger. And so I have my smoothies and shake ebook. I also sell sea moss. Comes from the Caribbean. So if you want a new sea moss plug, I am your girl, okay? I also will be coming outside more right now. My truck, my baby, that's one of the obstacles that I had went through last week where my truck just shut off on me. And I'm always, I'm always real I'm always real with my tribe and stuff. So I'm like, listen, I wanted to get out in the streets of Atlanta and give back and do giveaways. And, my transportation just had a little slowdown, but that's not going to stop me.
Right.
It's not going to stop me. It might, put a little hurdle in it. It might put a little obstacle, but it's not going to stop me because at the end of the day, our gift has to be shown. Our gift has to be presented so that other people can be inspired by it, and that too will inspire them to have a healthier lifestyle. So I'll go ahead and drop my website. I also sell dog clothing. I am a dog mom. I got a baby Yorkie. He's laying down somewhere. I'm surprised he didn't bother me. Not bother me, but I'm surprised he didn't want to come jump on here. So if you got a little fur baby, I got some clothes for you. I got some clothes for y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in here, but I truly do hope that you guys are just loving, what you've gathered today, loving the talk that we've had. And I enjoyed it myself because I know I love to be a homebody and an introvert a lot of times. So
Too, girl.
talking and getting out and really just connecting with my tribe, it's always refreshing. We need it. We need it.
We do. We
We
do.
need it.
Awesome. So thank you guys for coming. So next week I am going to be live with Bella Centric. I'm going to be on with Adina Gittins Smith as well, but her and ours will be pre-recorded. And then Bella Centric is going to be live on the 30th of April. And then May 1st, I'm going to have my crew on. It's going to be about 6 of us crew on. We're gonna be talking about Tantra, Kundalini
Yeah.
healing. It's gonna be great. That's gonna be May 1st. So I got a lot coming out, y'all. So if
Stay
you are
tuned,
not
baby.
if you are not following me, go ahead and hit that hit the notifications and subscribe so that you can know when I have my what do you call it? My
And if y'all are in Atlanta, like
my
she said, if y'all are in Atlanta this Saturday, y'all go ahead and sign up for this class because that is a step into healing. It's a step
yeah.
into healing. Instead of staying home, instead of, being to self, the next step after healing the isolation stage is to be around your community, be around your tribe. I know a lot of us think that there's a lot of weirdos out because there are, but there's also a lot of good people.
Mhm.
There's also a lot of good souls that want to see you thrive, that want to see you, do good for yourself. So
Right.
if you are in the ATL Metro Atlanta area, go ahead and tap in. Tap in. That's the only way you heal is if you tap into self and to tribe, to village.
Right.
Attract your village. Don't just find them, attract them.
Yes.
You got to attract. We don't chase, we attract. It's simple like that, baby.
Yes. All
Simple
right.
like that.
I'm trying to add your website, but it's just taking me. Okay, I think I got it
You're
now.
fine.
All right, there we go.
You're fine.
All right, so that's her site. If you want to buy any of Lady Empress's products, her CMOS, anything that she got, go ahead and go.
And let me drop this one. If they also want to do a one-on-one, I do have one-on-one consultations.
You know
And if
what? If y'all want to do one-on-ones, go to her IG, message her, follow her on IG as well.
I was like, let me drop that too, because if you're here, you're here. All right. If you're here, you're here. If you want to do some one-on-ones with me, I have that as well. And let's just tap in. Let's truly tap in and really start healing the community day by day, brick by brick, okay?
Oh.
Brick by brick. And I appreciate this, honestly.
Mhm.
I appreciate you, goddess. You look amazing. I love
Thank
that
you.
orange on you.
Thanks. You too. You
I
too.
love it.
All right, y'all. We're about to head out. I got to eat. I'm starving. I didn't eat earlier, but hit her up. You got her information. Buy some of her products. Follow Lady Empress as She Lady Imp on IG. All right. Love you guys. You have a great, great, great one. Peace. Let's see.